Hey cats, it's the self-proclaimed shoe master EDDBUD here. Thanks for joining me on the channel, it's always appreciated. There's a whole glut of new shoes set for release over the coming weeks. As such, it's time for a yay or nay. Which of these running shoe models will I be picking up for testing? Let's get into it. Some interesting ones to discuss today, guys, in the yay or nay. A bit later we'll have a look at an update for the HYPERION Elite. Never really quite gelled with this shoe. It is one of the strangest ones I think I ever picked up. We'll be looking at the three a bit later on in this video. If you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications so you're notified when new videos launch. It also helps Beast and I out here at EDDBUD Running Shoe Reviews if you give this video a thumbs up like, but also share it with your running buddies. Bonjour. Shoe 1. Right back when I started this bonkers running shoe video channel ages ago, however long it was now. I'm not quite sure about time anymore. Days just seem to roll into each other. It's really odd. Maybe I'm just getting old. That's probably it. I did do a review of the TERRA KIGER 5 when I first started the channel. It's pretty dirty. Actually performed really well for me on a couple of trail races that I took part in. I particularly remember, very fondly in fact, the Stourhead 10K. That was back in 2019. Wow, I was just a wisp of a man then, and I am now. Cracking shoe with very reasonable weight. So I'm keen to see if the new TERRA KIGER 8 is any better. Will it improve on those fond memories I had? Or did I just have my rose-tinted spectacles in? This thing was only about 319 grams in my UK 11, so I'll be keen to see what the TERRA KIGER 8 is. That new variant seems to build on that low base, light and nimble offerings that we've had before. Looks like we've got a Zoom Air unit in the forefoot of the shoe this time, and once again React appears as the Midsole Material. Let's hope it's the Pegasus Trail 3 React rather than some of the other stuff. It's a bit like concrete, the other formula. The upper on the shoe, I'm reliably informed, is the same mesh that appears on the Vaporfly Next Percent 2. Weren't expecting that, were you? I love that upper chainmail, and hopefully that means it's going to let the water out and also the heat too. Hopefully not hanging on to too many of the puddles and raindrops. Could double for me this one as a wet weather shoe, I suppose. I'm thinking that winter's going to hit us at some point. It's been pretty mild really over the last few weeks when you consider it. It's been quite mild really this winter over December and January. It's not been that bad. Yeah, February was a bit of a shocker, but hey, take the small wins. Maybe we'll get a few late winter flurries, you never know. It did snow here in March a few years back, so could happen. I'm liking the idea of trying out another trail shoe as well, especially one that's not so bulky. I tend to get on better with those. Oh, go on then. It'll be a yay for the TERRA KIGER 8 from Nike. I'm going to have to pick it up in the Kafuzi colorway though, of course. Shoe 2. This one's another shoe out of the Nike stable. Some trail cantering could be had in the Wild Horse 7. This thing looks like something out of a Russell Crowe Gladiator film, with those rubbery protrusions on the medial and lateral sidewalls of the midsole. This is one beefy number, certainly more stallion than Shetland pony. Bit of a thoroughbred, clocking in at 324 grams in a UK size 9. Holy heavy shoe, Batman. I think it's going to be closer to an ADIDAS and Ultra Boost in my size 11. So I think probably the TERRA KIGER 8 seems like a better option for me than the Wild Horse 7. Especially with my puny frame, it'll be like attaching ginormous anvils to my feet. Okay. Nike have included a rock plate in this version of the shoe, and it appears a little bit more suited to runners who are, traversing hilltops and mountains. More rocky terrain. I just simply haven't got that around here. The worst thing I have to navigate over is like a small stone or perhaps a broken bottle, maybe like a quagmire somewhere. That's all I've got. I think it's probably more suited to somebody like Seth James Damore. He can do the shoe more justice, I think. He can create some cool footage with his drones and stuff like that. It would look much better than me, running around in my local trail. I just haven't got access to a trail that I think will do this shoe justice. I think the price of the Wild Horse 7 is quite attractive though. I think it's coming in at around about 110 Earth credits, which is very reasonable. As I say, I think the features of this shoe will be put to better use by some other runners out there. So I'm not prepared to take a flutter on the Wild Horse 7. It's a nay from me. It had to be really, didn't it? Shoe number 3. Here we've got the ADIDAS ADIZERO RC4. RC4 always sounds like a remote control car, this one. I always remember having a little car where it had a cable attached to it that I could control when I was little. Very strange. I can never quite understand who came up with the idea and why they thought it was a good idea. An interesting low-key release by all accounts here. The ADIDAS ADIZERO RC4 looks set to drop very soon. A couple of shoe stores like Start Fitness have shown the shoe, but it's not available yet. An upper very similar to the Adios 6 and the Sen 8. This one appears to be a scaled-back version of the Adios 6 in pretty much every way. This time, though, using the more dense and firm light strike foam as opposed to a mixture and combination used in the bigger brother. Adidas have simplified this model. You've now got a torsion plate underfoot, so it'll provide a little bit of snap, and again, that plate is exactly the same as the one that appears on the Adios 6. Even the rubber outsole sections look pretty much exactly the same as that shoe I loved last year. This time around though, the price is only a little cheaper than the Adios 6 at 85 Earth credits. Makes this shoe slightly less attractive, I think, than it could have been. The RC has always been a cheaper option, just lower weight. Is it going to be that this time round? It's barely cheaper than the Adios 6. Bit of an odd price here for a shoe that has been cheaper in the past, so I need a bit more info on it before I make it a yay for the RC4 this time. It looks like a fairly reasonable wedge of light strike material there, and that does take time. You've got to tenderize it a little bit. So it's going to be a nay for the time being until I get some more info on the ADIDAS ADIZERO RC4. Last shoe up today, shoe number 4. Remember the big banana? Seems like Brooks are set to launch the HYPERION Elite 3, and it could be with us sooner rather than later. Seems like we've got even more stack in this new version of the shoe. I remember they released the first one and it just didn't really sell at all. No one liked it at all. And then they quickly released this second version of the shoe, but yeah, it didn't really hit the spot for me. I much preferred the cheaper and vastly more versatile HYPERION Tempo. The strange mixture of silky and neoprene-like material on the Elite 2 has been switched out in favour of the 2022 favourite, which is a knit-based setup. Seen loads of other brands going for that, haven't you? Hoka on the Carbon X3, they've just stuck a knit-like material on there. Is it going to work? Probably not. And of course, you've got to have the perforated laces. Eat your heart out, Alphafly. No changes to the outsole by all accounts, which was functional, but I'm still feeling the sting of a very costly Elite 2 and a very few miles I actually got into that shoe. No sign of a retail price aside from Hibbett Sports suggested $250. I can't believe that's going to directly translate to English Earth credits. That'll make it about 180, and I think I remember paying about $210 or something for the Elite 2. They're not going to make it cheaper, are they? Brooks shoes do tend to be on the pricey side, don't they? Certainly a more subtle colourway this time around. We haven't got that Battleship Grey and Banana sort of vibe going on. This time it's Battleship Grey and Cherry. Yeah, way to stand out, Brooks, with your opening colourway for your brand new high-level shoe. This is a nay for me. If it's the same foam, I just don't really think it works that well with a carbon plate. Give me a lower stack HYPERION Tempo 2. I'd be well happy with that. Like a pig in mud. Yeah, that foam's just better suited to that HYPERION Tempo model. I could be proved wrong. It has happened many times. Just ask my wife. Okay, that's the 4 shoes and the yay or nay for today. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this future footwear down in the comments. Musical interlude for you. Now, I can distinctly remember driving around back in 2011 listening to this album in my old Nissan Micra. Oh, what a car that was. I remember the window just fell into the door at one point. It was really, really tired. But yeah, it had a good stereo. And that's what counts. Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds by Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. Pretty much every track on here is very memorable and very, very enjoyable. In fact, there are a couple of tunes on here that have almost got like a more accessible Elliott Smith vibe about them. Call me crazy, but it's true. Wonderful acoustic guitar parts here, nice and simple. It's just every single instrument and everything about the album goes to build up around the song. So the lyric, the melody, everything is centre. I want to live in a dream in my record machine. I mean, it's a brilliant song. AKA What a Life as well. What a great track. Dancey vibes about that one. I distinctly remember being in a disco somewhere dancing to that one. You know, like an indie disco. It wasn't like a, you know, YMCA, Bee Gees sort of disco. I ain't that old. AKA Broken Arrow as well. I'm probably assuming that that one is some sort of nod to Neil Young. I know that Noel Gallagher's a big Neil Young fan. I love Stop the Clocks as well. What a great tune. I think that was once recorded at a sound check at some Oasis gig, but it never quite made it to an Oasis album. Every track's great here, guys. Pick it up on vinyl as well. Sounds even better if you can find it. The best football pundit going, Noel Gallagher and his high-flying birds. Right, it's time to drink some more coffee and get my editing hat on. Thanks for joining us here on the channel, it's always appreciated. Help support the channel by hitting that subscribe button and clicking the bell below for notifications so you can watch the new videos the instant they appear. Come on, cheeks to 777, you know you need to get in quick on this one. You can also become an EDDBUD Running Shoe Reviews Club member. There are 3 different tiers you can help support the channel so the shoes keep flowing in. Give this video a thumbs up, like, and also share it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you